Canines are our passion. They are our addiction. They are our way of life, right down to the very core. And without them, we would be lost. The canines of this world really are something to behold. They assist us at work. They accompany us at home. And they perform for us in the field. No matter where we go, they are by our side. Canines really are a ride or die, and for that, we are grateful. This podcast will showcase working canines of various breeds and disciplines as we search for those canines and their handlers who are always striving to be the best at what they do. Those who are always grinding. Those who are always pushing the limits. Those who are always dogging. Join us on our adventures as it is sure to be a wild ride. I'm your host, Bryce Matthews.
And I'm your co-host, Stephen Basham.
And this is Semper Doggin'. Welcome to another episode of the Semper Doggin' podcast, guys. I am your host, Bryce Matthews, and today I am joined by your co-host, Mr. Stephen Basham, and we've also got Layne Leverette back on here, round number 2. What is up, gentlemen?
What's going on, buddy?
What's happening?
Not much. Mr. Layne sitting back in his easy chair. We had to wake him up and shake the cobwebs out.
Yeah.
Guys, we are recording here right before Thanksgiving, and this is the Semper Doggin' Mobile. So I have traveled 4 hours south down here to my family's place. Basham, he's recording from a remote location. He's mobile. Layne, he's on his cell phone, so we're going to try and knock this out and bring you guys an episode here on Black Fridays when this will release. I want to talk a little bit here about this hunt that Layne put on recently that we covered a few weeks ago called the Battle of the Brides in Pro Sport. Layne, why don't you fill us in on how that hunt went, who all showed up, and what the final shakedown was?
Man, it was awesome. We ended up with 24. We had, of course, Kai Robertson, the little red Jeep that won it, was there. Final 3, myself got lucky and backed in there. Wipeout Casey was there. Strickland, both his Jeeps, Zach Reeves. I mean, we had a pretty good lineup of dogs there. I can't tell them all without looking at my list, but we had a lot of good dogs. Really hard competitive hunt.
Yeah, what was the response from the guys that showed up to that hunt? Were they all pretty excited to be in on like the inaugural Battle of the Brides with the best females in the country?
Yeah, we had a lot of excitement about this hunt. It was pretty big. Everybody knew the level playing field they was going to be on, and the challenge of what we had with this kind of dogs there at this hunt was really neat. I think it's going to give us something to build on for next year. Try to do this every year. I think there'll be a lot more to come. People at first hunt, we're always figuring it out how the best way to do it is, and I think we had a good hunt. Fed everybody good. Everybody sat around and had a good time. Man, it was a great atmosphere. One of the better hunts as far as the camaraderie with everybody there. It was a really good time.
Yeah, they had a good list of dogs. You've got Juliet with Layne Leverette, Hooker, Doug Havner, Ruby, Jake Brasher, Lou. Oh, Ashley Hopkins was down there. You had old Battle Axe with Boo Boo Rivers, Queen, Scar, Cookie, Justin Davenport. You had Oreo, Spencer Brown, Polly, Pearl, which ended up winning it, Star, which the Star female, that's the one that Zach Vaught and John Strickland own, that Jess Parson owns now. You had Jennings and John Strickland, Betty Strong, John Strickland. You had the B female with Billy Berry. You had Venus, You had Fire, Chad Reisner, the Wipeout Casey. You had Propane Jane, Robert Burns, Jenny Craig, Margaret, and Powder. That was kind of your lineup for the hunt. And, something that I really enjoyed, Layne, was seeing all the stuff that you went out and got, the belt, that's pretty awesome. And then, I believe you got knives for each one of them. Or what was the prize package?
They all had, we got top three all got a K-Light. Sandra donated to all the finalists to K-Light. Stephen Smith from Havoc Lights donated us a light. We give it to the high scoring, well, not high scoring, the dog treated the most coons for the 2 nights. We had the knives. They were Hen and Rooster knives. All the finalists got one of them. Razor donated a vest. All 3 finalists got a vest. And then the belt. The belt was off the hook. Now, I'm telling you,
the belt was off the hook.
That was cool.
You can tell it was like WWE wrestling. Everybody wanted that belt,
So for the listeners, explain what this belt looked like, because this is a podcast, so people that just listen to it. I've got a bunch of listeners that just get on there and listen to these podcasts when they're driving down the road, and explain to these listeners exactly how you had this belt made.
Man, well, we ordered it on Amazon. But we went and had it engraved. Designs Express here in town engraved it for us. We had the Pro Sport emblem on each side, Battle of the Brides in the middle, and the champion Estill Springs. But it's like a wrestling belt, like you see on TV. With the champ of the world. It was a pretty neat prize. Everybody come up there and you'd see. You'd catch it. Just about everybody that looked at that belt, they'd pick it. You can tell everybody's, I want that belt,
So there was an interesting picture of John Strickland on a bench holding the belt.
Yeah. He, John, he's always cutting up doing something. We hung that belt on him, took a picture of him like he was the big dog.
Yeah, I didn't see that picture. The only picture I saw, Strickland looked like somebody done put some baby powder in his hands and scratched his nose while he was sleeping.
I think when they stayed the other day, Maynard said his feet stank real bad. So he threw that powder. He told him he'd throw that powder all over him. Told him to help him out.
His whole face was covered in white powder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But like I said, it seemed like you guys had a pretty good hunt. It seemed like I was kind of looking at the scores for the very first round. Seemed like you guys, the coons weren't really moving very good. Seemed like the dogs actually kind of struggled a little bit.
Yeah, they did. Of course, that's Tennessee in November now.
Yep.
That's the way it is. In early rounds, I mean, like our cast, I won with 2 dens. Others drawed minus on the slick and 2 withdrew. They just got too far and went the wrong way. And the late round, same way there. There's a few coons treed, but this time of year you're gonna struggle. 2 coons on the cast is pretty good.
Yep.
So, and then the late round, I think we scored on 5. We got a guy here, a friend of ours, Larry Prince. He saved his farm for us. He's got feeders up there. He never kills a coon. I mean, they're there. I mean, we've been in there in an hour and see 10 to 15, coons sitting around. So we're really in good shape to have that place for a final. We're going to have it on the next hunt also. He's going to keep it all fed up, tended to for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So the question I had whenever I saw that belt, who went home with that? Did Kai take it home, or did the owners cut it in half and each one of them take a half? How did that work?
Man, I have no idea. When they left there, it was hanging on the dog.
I think it'd have to go in thirds, wouldn't it?
And it had to go. I guess one of them a week, and they'll just pass it around.
Just pass it around, yeah. I love that.
I say whoever's got the dog keeps the belt.
Yeah.
Okay, so was there, looking at that list, Basham, I'm gonna default to you. Looking at that list, was there anybody or any dog that you thought was like a surefire foot in the final three that you were surprised didn't make it in?
I mean, you have to go with Ann. John Strickland and dog. I mean, you have to with the role that they've been on and him winning a truck with her and just everything that they've won together. I mean, the Ann dog was probably one of them. Obviously with the background pedigree that she has, Cookie was probably another fan favorite. Having a world champion, coming off of a reserve world champion at the PKC World. So, I mean, I would say if you had to do a poll, Ann and probably Cookie were probably two of your biggest fan favorites. What would you think, Layne?
Yeah, them two's always a favorite. Fire
Yep.
was on the road lately. She's been tough. When she was in that heads up cast, I thought, she's gonna be tough to handle right there.
Yep.
Let me tell you about a hunt like this, and you guys know this. You can have the same hunt tomorrow night and have a total different lineup in every round. Total different set of winners every round. Final three will be totally different. The final six will be totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
absolutely.
I mean, that's like, and nothing against you, Layne, at all, but I mean, if you look at that list of dogs, and what's so awesome about this type of hunt, you look at this list of dogs. If you was to put that list of dogs on Facebook or anywhere and ask for, hey, who do you think is going to win? Those three wouldn't have been the top three on that list, would they?
Well, I don't know, man. I'll tell you.
Hey, come on, Layne.
Yeah, come on now.
Hey, no. I'm not putting any dog down. I'm just saying, I'm talking about, with the resumes and not that Juliet don't have a resume. She obviously does, but we're talking about, you've got Ann and just lately the resume, and you've been on a win, in pro sport. You've got 17 now, so you're leading dog of the year. So I'm just talking about, I guess what I'm talking about isn't so much pro sport as I am all the other entities, PKC, UKC, all the big titles. You had some heavy hitters in that lineup.
Oh yeah. If you sit back and look, everybody's always going to say Strickland, whatever he's hunting. He's always one of the ones you just can't bet against him.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's not a dog in that list.
No, there wasn't.
But on that token, I think it's hard to bet against Kai. I feel like whatever the heck Kai gets behind, he's got a chance at winning. He might be one of the luckiest guys I've ever met. I've said for a long time, you put Kai behind a poodle, he's gonna knock on the door.
He's pretty good at what he does now.
Yeah.
And he's not one of the guys that gets to go travel the world hunting. I mean, he gets to go to select events, and I feel like he really does capitalize on the events that he gets to go to.
Yep, he's really good.
So
and he's always got a good hand on.
Yeah. Yeah, back when he was really pushing, whenever he had
fever.
Yeah, when he had fever and then crash, when he was really pushing. I mean, when he shows up to a hunt, you best believe he's carrying a dog.
Yeah, that's right.
That's for sure.
I really enjoyed just seeing the Pearl dog win this, because it was a dog, and I'm a walker man at heart, but it was something different on the front page of the quote unquote magazine. You know what I mean? It was refreshing to see something. It was, people who are not walker people, they're always wanting something else to get the spotlight, and they got it this time, with the crossbreed red bone walker dog. So I thought that was very interesting and nice to see. It was just a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I was proud for them too. Now I'm gonna tell you, I like Kai, and I was proud of them, to represent us and win that. That you're right. A different dog of a different color. That was a pretty good deal right there.
Yeah, because so think about it. When is the last time you've seen something other than a walker win in a major event across all registries? Like
It's been a while.
it's been a long time, for something that's not a breed specific event, for just a general event. Like Autumn Oaks this year, we had a black and tan in the final four. That was, the black and tan guys were pumped up as they should be because it's been a long time, so it was really nice to see something different win. And even though I'm a Walker guy, I just thought it was nice.
Yes, sir, it was. I mean, you get in your outline areas, and you'll get your off-colored dogs that win pro classics regularly. And just one that pops off the top of my head because I had him here at the house. But Chad Falling and Country Boy down in South Carolina. I mean, they show up to a hunt, and typically, when you see a picture of the Final Four of that pro classic, Country Boy's in it. They don't ever go to anything but right there at the house, and I think he's got 50 or 60,000 one on that blue dog.
Right.
So, I mean, you can name a few, but you're right, Bryce. I mean, night in and night out, you look at a Final Four picture of a pro classic or pro sport or, Final Four of, Walker days, or even though it's not a Walker only hunt, or Autumn Oaks or the World Hunt, you don't see a lot. Another one is Caleb Griffin and that, crossbred dog.
Preacher Man.
He's got Preacher Man, half Walker, half
blue tick,
black and tan,
blue tick.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just having a dog of a different color. It kind of shakes things up a little bit, and definitely props to you, Layne, for being able to talk so nice about it. Being that you came in second on that hunt.
Yeah. It's I was proud for Kai. His dog did a good job. That was a heck of a final we was on. Still kicking my hind end a little bit about that one.
I was just going to ask you, how much weight and how much smaller is your rear end since that night? How many times have you kicked yourself?
Oh, I've eat myself alive thinking about it.
You purposely take a quarter on that first tree, thinking that it's going to be a blank, and it turns out to be a coon.
In life, just on these casts, you have a split second to make a decision that's going to affect what you do the rest of your life. Same on the hunt. You have a minute to make a decision on what's going to affect the rest of that cast, and mine is never with another dog. And so they strike these hot tracks right out of the truck, and they tree together. Well, I'm sitting there thinking, Kai trees first. They both jam together. Well, if I ain't gonna get it all, I'll just take a little and play it safe just in case right here. Well, it bit me in the rear.
So a little backstory, Bryce. What happened is they cut loose and they jam a coon right out the gate. Kai trees first. Juliet's on the tree. But old Layne lays back and decides since he didn't get first tree, he's just going to get last tree. So instead of taking 75 or 50, he takes a quarter. Well, fast forward to the end of the hunt, they're tied, and Kai had tiebreaker.
Oh, I wasn't sure how that worked. Okay.
It's a different story.
If he trees for 75 or 50, it's a different story.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, like you said, I mean, you got a split second to make those decisions and figure out what you're going to do. And you win some, you lose some. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else to it. There's nothing else to it. So, well, Layne, that was the Battle of the Brides. Basham, you got anything else to add on that one? Sorry. Look like you're getting ready to say something.
One thing. Just kind of backing up just a hair. Now that it's over, what's something that you would have done different for that hunt?
I'd have treated my dog.
No, I'm talking about putting on the hunt, running the hunt. What's something that
you'll change for next year? What would you change for next year?
I don't know if there's anything we can change. Man, it was perfect. I'm talking about it run perfect. Absolutely, there was not a question, not a glitch anywhere. The only thing I know that we could do different was add more dogs.
Rather than 24, maybe open it up to 36 or 48 or something like that.
Yeah. Let me tell you this. When we started this thing, we set out to be 24. And we caught a lot of slack about just picking 24, and there were some good dogs we left out. So we opened it to 32. Well, then guys back out and they commit to coming and don't show up, and we get back to 24. That's the thing about these hunts, man. We work our butts off to put them on, and it's a lot of work to it. I mean, a lot of phone calls, a lot of time finding guides, finding judges, being sure enough food to feed. When we ordered the steaks 3 weeks ahead of time, we order for 32 dogs. Plus extra people ordered 50 of them big steaks. And when people call and they want entry, but then they don't stand behind what they do and show up, it hurts. So, next time, we're going to do it a little different. That when somebody speaks for entry, they're going to have to be responsible for that entry. Yeah. There's really nothing as far as the hunt wise we could do except add more dogs.
Now, since that was an invitational hunt, maybe I just missed it. Was there an entry fee for these guys to show up, or was it just a show up on an invitational deal? How did that work out? Because you guys had a good payout too.
$1,000 entry, yeah. 12,000 first, 6 for second, 3 for third.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I saw you paid out, like 20-something thousand, and I was like, man, surely they didn't just put this as an invitational deal. But I didn't. I never saw the entry fee, I guess.
Yeah, $1,000 entry fee.
Now, one thing, and I think this would be cool. The person that won the belt would not think this would be cool. Does the belt get transferred to the next winner and their name just etched into the belt?
No, that's
because in WWE, when I take your belt, I take your belt.
What is it? You're the man till you beat the man.
That's right.
To be the man, you've got to beat the man. I don't know. It's hard to take that back. You got 3 people at the house. But, that might be something we look into the future. Is you may have to defend that belt next year.
Yep.
Make it a deal where, the previous champion, the reigning champion, is an automatic shoe into the final cast. Like they for the next year, they've got a spot. You've got one spot locked in, so you basically have a bye, and then you've got two or three open spots, and that person gets an opportunity to defend their belt or their title.
I'd say you have the first round bye, not all the way to the final, because there was 3 different casts.
Okay.
There was an early, late, and then that broke it down to the final 3. So I would say you get a bye of the first round. But here's the problem with the Battle of the Brides. What happens if that bride is in heat?
It's all female hunt. Doesn't matter.
Oh, well, here's my question on that, though. If Juliet's day 9, are you going to take her out there in the middle of the woods and cut her loose?
Put a little pine tar on her and go on.
Yeah.
Oh, Layne Leverette says, "Hey, I ain't never done it. I ain't never not done it."
But seriously, I mean, these are ideas that could be, it could spice things up a little bit. Give them an opportunity to defend it.
Let me tell y'all something else that was really good about this hunt. Having just a final 3 on Saturday night. I think there was 500 and some odd viewers watching that live. Where, when you got 2 rounds on Saturday and your wee hours in the morning, you don't get a lot of that. Everybody's trying to watch it the next day. But there was that many people watching that. And that format right there works pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. That early casting, I mean, heck, I was back home by 11 o'clock. People was home. Felt like going to church on Sunday morning,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do like what Bryce said. maybe in the future, the winner automatically makes it, because your late round was heads up, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What if the winner automatically makes it to heads up?
We'll have to give that some thought.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll have to give that some thought. We didn't do it on this first one, but we may fix it where you have to defend.
Yeah, you couldn't do it on the first one. It was the inaugural. You didn't have anybody to defend.
You can't do it on the first one.
Yeah. But I'm talking, we didn't set it up with a winner to say, all right, now you got to defend this next year.
Well, they don't have to. This is an opportunity for them to defend it. They get the privilege to defend it. They can bow down and quit, and they can be a quitter, or they can come out and defend it.
It's all how you word it.
It's a final three. We can turn it into a final four, being that dog automatically gets to the finals.
Ooh.
See, that's where I was going with it earlier, Basham.
See, we're just getting the hamster. Just getting the hamster going.
That's exactly what I was saying earlier, Basham. You just take it to a final four. You have the same format. You get your 3 dogs the same way you did it, but this dog just they are there in the finals. Like, they get a chance to defend it. I like it. I think it's salty. I think it spices things up.
That or maybe the winner next year, when this hunt is over, the winner this year gets to meet heads up with that winner. He has to defend against the winner, just like a battle royal. They have a battle royal in WWE for a chance at the tie. Well, the winner of the hunt this coming year, maybe them 2 tie up heads up to defend the belt.
That's almost like
you already know what you got to
hill.
do. You already know what you got to do. So you're going to have the battle of the big dog, right?
That's right.
And I'm jumping ahead just a little bit. Layne's going to talk about it in just a second. But you've got to get another belt, because Pearl's got to go up against the winner of the big dog.
Oh, yeah.
For heads up overall.
Yeah. So you could have your Battle of the Bride goes up against the Battle of your big dog. They both have their own belt. They are their own individual championship, but they are fighting for the King of the Hill. Pro Sport King of the Hill. Or
King of the Hill.
However, well, you can't say that, because if the female wins, she's not really the king, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The Pro Sport top dog.
Yeah. It's a lot of ideas there, but
we're good at ideas.
That was a good segue.
Yeah, roll into it, Basham. Roll into it.
Go ahead, Mr. Layne.
Wait a minute before we get into that. There's something else I'd forgot to mention. On this Battle of the Brides, we made a few phone calls, and we had a list of stud owners with some of the major dogs that are breeding right now. All donated a stud feed to the final 3. Any one of the final 3 can breed to the dog of their choice on this list for free. And, there were some good dogs on that. So I want to thank them guys, that donated them, Rackham Willie, Trigger, Shannon Martin and Power Trip, Scott Ingles 2, Billy Bells 2, Lane Denny put one on there. If I'm forgetting anybody, I'm sorry, but that was pretty neat. Just think what a pup should be worth if the Battle of the Big Dog was crossed with the Bride hunt.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Cool. That'd be cool.
All right, so tell us about this Battle of the Big Dog. Let's hear about it.
Let's roll right into it.
Battle of the Big Dogs. Number 1, we're going to do it a little different than we did last time. We're going to let everybody, dogs qualifications on this are going to have to be a platinum champion, or they've won at least 20,000 in pro sport. We're going to let people nominate their dog on a list, and we're going to put that list so that we're not just going to pick them at random who we think. We're going to put them on a wheel and spin them, and we're going to take 36. So we're going to spin the wheel we're going to spin the wheel for 35 entries. The male dog that is leading the pro sport race this time, which looks like it's going to be Nicky Hale, he will automatically have a ticket to it. He will he should be the pro sport leader. He will automatically be in.
Okay.
So we'll spin the wheel for 35 spots. And them dogs will be chose to compete for the battle of the big dogs. We're going to have the only thing this is going to be different. This hunt somehow I'm going to make it bigger. We're going to have more prizes, more online. We're going to try to have some live interviews. I mean, we're going to do some stuff, bigger and better.
We're gonna run the Calcutta. I know we kind of got a late start on the Calcutta. We're just so everybody knows, you're gonna be listening to this on Black Friday, the week of that week, starting on December 23rd. We are gonna start the Calcutta, and it's gonna run all week until the draw on Friday.
And this hunt, Battle of the Big Dogs, I don't think anybody said it yet, but just to clarify, it's the male hunt. So it's done just like the Battle of the Brides, but this is all male hunt.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hopefully I get drawed for this hunt.
You better
on
not.
That draw, the other thing we're going to do on that draw, you say Basham gets his dog drawed on there, and the entries go to the dog, not the person.
Yeah.
So I use Trigger, for instance. Say Trigger gets drawn, but at the last minute something happens and Trigger can't come. He can't just sell that entry or do something. He's got to let us know, because we're going to draw that list all the way through. We're going to go to the next available on every entry. So, we're going to do it that way.
Are you going to try to do this for the Battle of the Brides next year?
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
that's going to be the way we choose them from now on.
Yeah, I like that.
I do like that as well, too, because it takes the pressure off of you guys and the ridicule for saying, why didn't this dog make it? Well, this dog was qualified and this dog was capable. Why didn't you choose them? It takes it off of you. If you think you got one that can handle it, as long as it meets this criteria, which you're saying is a platinum champion in PKC or a $20,000 winner in Pro Sport, pony up, big boy, put your money up and nominate yourself and let's go play. Saddle up.
That's right. That's exactly right. And, and I tell you another thing it does, it locks them entries in a little better. Instead of calling around and saying, hey, we want to invite you to this hunt. We want to invite you here, this dog and this dog. Okay, we'll come at the last minute. You know that when your name gets put on that wheel, you're in.
Yep.
So, you wasn't asked to do it. You put your dog in there. So that's going to hold people a little more accountable for them entries to show up like they say they are.
Yeah.
So, and like you say, we pick them at random. So we're not just picking. We don't get, y'all, it's the buddy system. You just went through and picked this one, picked that. No, if your dog's qualified, if he meets that criteria, like you said, get in where you fit in, because it's going to be a hell of a night.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just a question, because the brain's thinking, and there's only one dog that comes into mind, and the only reason why I bring it up is because I automatically thought about him whenever you were talking about 20,000 in either PKC or Pro Sport. What if they got 20,000 in UKC, but they don't really hunt Pro Sport or PKC?
Man, you're reaching hard. We're going
it's still 20,000. It's still 20,001. I'm just asking.
Which dog are you talking about?
Yeah,
Preacher.
really.
Preacher, man.
Preacher.
Yep.
Oh, we hadn't considered taking UKC. I don't know why we hadn't, but we didn't, because, heck, they usually, other than the Tournament of Champions, I don't even know what they give any money for on. So I don't know.
They do have like pro slams and stuff now where they're doing it like almost like a pro classic where they're paying out, $7,500 or something to win. They do have those. They're few and far between. They're trying to build that. They do have that, and they do have a list of all-time money winners that you can find.
Yeah, I think UKC's coming on pretty strong with their hunts too. I mean, they're really building. To answer your question, I cannot answer that question. That's something I'd have to get back to you on. But as of right now, we're going by the Pro Sport and PKC.
He's gonna have to take that to the board members.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to discuss it with the guys.
Okay, so give us the dates and location. Where's the Battle of Big Dogs going to be when and where?
Estill Springs, Tennessee, December 27th and 28th. The week after Christmas be the last. That'd be the last pro sport hunt of the year.
Okay. So somebody's Christmas wish just may come true.
So it's 2 days after Christmas. Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Are we going on the same prize payout as Battle of the Brides?
No, it'll be more. We're going to take more dogs. We're going to 36.
You're taking 36 instead of 24. Okay. Do you have that prize package broke down? Do you know what you're giving out on this hunt yet?
I don't yet. We'll announce that in weeks to come. We'll break down the money and post it. And, what we're going to do as far as prizes and gifts. I got to call a lot of sponsors. I know K-Light's going to donate lights again. I'm sure the other folks will, join in with us. But I plan on having even more than before.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Basham and I have talked about this. We'd like to come down there, especially with it being Christmas, the week of Christmas. I should have off work, so we're going to try and come down there and get some interviews.
Come on and set up. We'll be glad to have you.
I'd like to make that happen.
Like I said, I'm hoping to be hunting in it. So,
what dog you going to take?
I mean, I've got a couple different ones, but I'll probably put Country Boy on there.
There you go.
Man, I'm putting this on and don't even have one.
Yeah,
I mean, can you see me behind a blue dog?
I see you for whatever the heck you can try and get your hands on.
Well,
hey,
don't.
I'll tell you what, it'd be a perfect time, December in Tennessee, with the way the coons move for a blue dog.
It'd be a good time in December for a coon dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say this about him, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not one to beef up somebody else's dog, but I had that sucker here for 3 months. And if there's one thing that dog, and he just is extremely good at, and that is being a coon dog. He may not be the best competition dog, but when that dude's feet hit the wood, you better cock your gun.
Well, that's what it takes in this country.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty exciting. I'm glad to see that people are stepping out and they're trying to do innovative things. The sport is evolving, and every time I'm like, all right, man, well, we've maxed out. What's going to happen next? Boom, here comes another hunt with a different format, which I think is great. People are putting their minds together and they're coming up with some really cool stuff. One of them that comes to mind, I just saw the ad for it, is the Polaris Bonanza or whatever they're doing over there in Illinois, where they're giving out like three different Polaris Rangers, 9 Polaris 4-wheelers. Is it 6?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 6 or 9 Polaris 4-wheelers. I mean, that's a heck of a hunt. $3,000 entry fee, get you in for 3 days of trying, get you 3 chances. But it's innovative. It's thinking outside of the box. It's something different than money or a truck or, It's just very cool to see all you guys putting your minds together and trying to do something different.
Well, let me tell you, we can all go to a hunt anywhere in the country that pays good money. But sometimes it's not all about the money. 10 years from now, my little boys, I got a little boy that's 3-year-old. 10 years from now, none of that 6,000 I want is going to be there.
That belt would.
When I pass away and he gets my belongings, when he digs in that drawer and he gets that pocket knife, it says Battle of the Brides. Or, Kai's kid down the road and one day looks up and that belt hanging on the trophy case. That it kind of means a little something. So sometimes it's not always about the money. Sometimes the prizes and the titles, mean a lot to us too.
I'm going to tell you something that I regret more than anything is I didn't hunt my first PKC hunt until 2016, something like that. I was big where I lived at. There just wasn't a lot of PKC hunts. And it was just UKC through and through and through. And I remember one year I took 4 dogs from never winning a cast to being grand night. And that was back when only one night champion got a night champion win, the highest scoring night champion. And so, I mean, I won Walker sectional at Tell City, like the queen of the hunt 3 years in a row. And so I had all these plaques and clocks and trophies. And one day I just got tired of dusting them off, and I went and took every one of them trophies and gave them to a club. And, you know, the older I get now, I regret that bigger than anything in this world.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's them trophies. Sometimes you look around, and you don't think they mean nothing, but one day they'll mean something to somebody other than you.
Now they'll even mean something to you. You know, when you're getting older and you're putting together a hunting room or shed, and you're like, man, what do I hang on the walls? And then I'll tell you who really made me sit back and think about it was Don Dunlap. Whenever they did when they did the Dunlap boys and they did that podcast, who was it? Jeremy that did it?
Probably Josh.
Or was it Mason?
Josh Michaelis did him, didn't he?
Oh, that's what I meant, not Jeremy. Josh. When Josh did it, they show the background, and it's all of the trophies, you know, all over the walls and everything. And right then I was like, man.
Dude.
And I've got pictures on my phone of, like, man, I had like 2 walls completely covered in trophies. I just got tired of them, and I gave them all to a hunting club, and that's something that I regret.
But I think that's a generational thing because, so, you know, you take Don, I mean, he's older than you.
Yep.
Look at my father-in-law, Curtis Elburn. If you walk into his basement, it is legitimately mind-boggling how many trophies are in that basement from all of these coonhound events. He's got a pool table. The whole thing has got shelves on it, stacked of coonhound trophies. You go into the other room, he's got a wall. It's got 4 layers stacked of coonhound trophies. He's got sections built for all the Texas Longhorn, the horn measuring world championships that he's won. I don't think he's ever thrown a trophy away from the day that he was a peewee, you know? But he's got every one of them. You cannot move in there. There's so many trophies. But then you look down at my wife, Nikki, his daughter, and she cleaned out trophies a month ago. She went through our closet and there they went, just like you. Right to a club or to the trash, one or the other. And it's like,
it'll never happen again. Every trophy that I get from this point forward is going to be saved.
Yeah, I've got my little wall of memorabilia up here myself, and I've told my wife several times, I said, I'm going to take that out and put it in the shop out there. And she's like, no, you let that sit right there.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Awesome. Well, guys, I told you at the very beginning of this was Semper Dog and Mobile. My laptop is getting ready to crash on us here, boys, so we need to wrap this up here pretty quickly. Layne, thanks for joining us again, buddy. Is there anything else that you need to cover on Battle of the Brides or Battle of the Big Dogs?
I want to answer a question for some people out there. I've been asked multiple times why I choose Pro Sport to go with on these kind of hunts. And I want to tell you a little bit about why I choose Pro Sport. Number one, I really like their association. I like the rules. I like the guys that run it. But I'm going to give you a couple reasons. Several years back, I was second with Jeff Stallard in the PKC Nationals. We received our rewards in the motel parking lot. Here you go, boys. There it is and gone. When I was third in the world hunt, me and Kevin Cable, and we go back to the club there at the fairgrounds. There was one person there to hand us our plaques and our checks and shake our hand. When you go to these Pro Sport hunts, these guys are on the finals with you, judging it, doing it themselves out there in amongst. And when you get back, you realize you've done something. And it's more of a family-oriented thing, you know, amongst us coon hunters. But the way them guys take pride in what they do, and they're there at the end of the hunt. They actually, it's not just about the money with these guys. It's not about how much they can make or do, because they pay out a lot of what they take in. They pay back out. On these hunts, they don't make much, but it's more about the dog and the prizes and the hunters. And I am very proud to be a supporter of Pro Sport, and very proud to have them on board with what we're doing here. And to answer people's questions, why? Go to the other hunts and come to a Pro Sport hunt, and you'll understand what I mean. And that's I want to leave by saying that.
Yeah.
I would say there's only one other registry that could compete with Pro Sport on, and it's just because they have the infrastructure to do it. And that's the way UKC runs their Tournament of Champions and their World Hunt. When you come back in, you get interviewed. They're running a commentary interview just like ESPN at the table. I mean, it's a real production. But like I said, the difference is they've got the infrastructure. They've got a production team that is hired to do all that.
Yeah, they are. But Pro Sport, I think, will be there one day, the way they keep going.
Oh, I'm not saying they won't. I'm just saying all I was meaning by that is there's only one other kennel club that could compete, on that realm, and that would be how UKC runs their big hunts. That's all I was getting.
They run it, and they're there to support their hunters. They're there behind them. And that makes, to me, that makes a big difference. We spend a lot of money chasing these dreams and chasing these hunts. And that little bit of appreciation showed to the participants of these hunts really means a lot. It does to me.
Mm-hmm.
I agree 100%. It's going the extra mile. It's going above and beyond. It's the attention to detail that stands out and that people remember. But
they're there from the beginning to the end, and they own it. They could that hunt this weekend, they could very well sent me a packet and said, "Here you go, put your hunt on." But no, sir. Greg Maynard's down there in the fire, walking on the cast, video and doing it. Well, you've seen. I mean, it's just they're up and coming, and they're changing the game. I tell you that they're changing.
Yep, I'll agree with that.
Everything in life's got to evolve and get better. And when you stay at one place so long, it gets stale. And I think we've gotten stale with some of these other groups. But, it's just getting better and keep more. It's more. Every time you turn around, it's something new.
Yep. You got to keep evolving.
Got to keep raising the bar.
Well, I want to be one of the first ones to say, Mr. Layne, we appreciate your dedication to the sport. We appreciate your dedication to just trying to put a smile on people's face, all the way from me and you trucking down to Carolina and trying to help them, to you trying to put on another hunt. One thing that I've really come to learn about you is you're a guy of the people. You're a guy that, likes to make people smile, make people laugh, and you're in it for the bigger picture. And we definitely appreciate you and need more people like you in the sport.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely. I ditto that. All right, guys. Well, hey, my laptop is beeping at me. I got 3% here, so we need to wrap this one up.
Thank God. Spoiler alert. 24 handlers all have won over $100,000.
Oh, boy. Spoiler alert, he says.
Spoiler alert.
Hey, I think I can pick up what you're putting down.
Yep.
All right, guys. We're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for joining us here on Simper Dog, and we hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving and are enjoying your Black Friday. So we'll catch you next week. See ya.
Yes, sir.
Later.